Hi everybody, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade on Tuesday nights, live on Twitch, and later on YouTube. How is everybody doing tonight? Is everybody in the audience, and how are my lovely players that have been so patient the last couple weeks?
The most
fucking
hyped.
fantastic, because
The
we're
most
finally
hyped.
playing some fucking VTM again, because it's been too fucking long.
I think you know we haven't been patient. This has been the most unpatient group waiting to play this game.
I think Elvish was so excited she turned into a pixelated blur.
That's accurate, yes. No, that's correct.
That's
It's
real
her
hype.
special power that she can pixelate things. You didn't know?
Learning new stuff about you guys every day.
Hey.
Well, while we get into our groove, let's have a bit of the song. Or one of them.
Davy Jones, did we not all have beards last time you saw us?
It's in the contract.
Mine grew in pretty good, I thought.
I actually just trimmed mine, so...
Talitha threatened to knock me out and shave me in my sleep.
Who's Talitha?
Fuck.
That's a weird demon
It's been
that
so long!
haunts your house.
I mean, it is an Arabic name. If you're gonna name a demon, you might as well go old school. Or Aramaic, sorry.
Koss, what are you saying? You guys don't go by Koss and Spira at home?
Weirdly enough, yes, sometimes. Like, a lot of times now. It's too difficult to, like, explain to people, so, like, it's just my name, just relax.
I have been talking to my parents or something, and I'm like, "Can." But anyway, alright, so this is episode 17 of New Orleans by Night. And since it's been a little while for everybody, I will do a little bit of a summary from last episode. Sorry, I'm gonna be a little bit coffee this episode. Been cleaning. Just dying a little bit, it's fine. I have something, it might clear up or it might take me with it. Alright, so last episode continued along with the hunt for Rebecca, who seemed to be missing as far as any of our lovely kindred were able to figure out. Following up on some clues around the apartment and speaking with Prince Marcel, specifically suggested maybe they go and speak with the local Tremere to see if they have any clues as to how to find another magic user, or even just, you know, maybe use some of their own magic to find a way to track her down. Specifically, Theo and Bjorn went and spoke with the young elder Nigel. And in speaking with Nigel, they continuously found him surprisingly pleasant and very genuine. It actually threw them off guard a few times, expecting there was some other reason he wanted to help them or there was some secret motivation. But as they continued to speak with the older man, they still couldn't feel out anything in his aura, in his body language, anything that really... He seemed he genuinely wanted to help them find their friend. Dinah and Luther, on the other hand, were helping out their fellow Toreador friend Morgaine, who, while she remembers only being out at clubs the other night, has video footage of her stealing paintings from a local gallery. The prince, when they all spoke with him, does seem to be leaning toward her story, and trusting that there might be something else going on. Morgaine doesn't really have any, past history of theft, even though she is a wild card and an artist herself. It still seems outside of her wheelhouse. So Morgaine will now be spending the next few nights at the prince's haven, both so he can watch her and continue the investigation. Luther and Dinah basically left after that, feeling like they'd done their part to help the friend, but, still left in the dark about what that means, and able to maybe follow up with the others on their line with Rebecca. Abraham did not initially respond to any texts or calls about the ongoing investigation, so we'll find out what he's been up to. And Theo and Bjorn are in fact leaving Nigel's apartment after he whipped up a little spell that should help him track Rebecca down. Let's start though with Dinah and Luther. You are just leaving the prince's plantation, mansion, his haven, and as usual, the valet brings back Luther's car around the corner. As I mentioned, it still seems very vague about what happened with Morgane. There's not much to support that she didn't do this. In fact, the videos would be confirmation if you weren't in a world of the supernatural. So you have that on your minds. You know that Rebecca is still missing, and you do also have the video that you pulled from the small club Dinah got from Gregory, the manager, that clearly showed the at least height and body of the two men. The one didn't really look too much into the camera, but the one you did get a very good shot of his face.
Okay, so did we take that to the prince? Because I think, because we went to go talk to him already, and we had that tape, and we went with Prince.
Gregory also sent screen captures to your phones and all of that.
But did we ever show the prince the video of that?
I believe you guys gave him the basic details you got about these two technocrats, as far as you understand who they are.
And we checked in with them to see how did they did they leave the hotel or anything, and then basically they had been reported as not really even leaving.
Yes, the prince did mention
odd was up with that.
he had people watching their hotel and even trying to follow the cabs when they left. But all the information his reports gave him were simple locations, going to the grocery store, going to basic locations. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. He did mention, of course, as Kindred, you didn't know the breadths and depths of their abilities, so perhaps they were able to change those records, make the cab seem to go somewhere else. Who knows?
You said we're look at you. So are we starting outside of the mansion?
Yep, you've just left. You finished your discussion with the prince. Morgane is agreeing to stay.
And
Okay.
well, all right, Dinah. We got a lot on our plate. Where do you want to start?
I don't remember us. I thought we had resolved everything that we could.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be digging in a little bit more, trying to figure out some information, or are we just letting this go?
Sure, let's go. Do you want to take a break from Rebecca? Because I don't think we can really do much else as far as her. Did you perhaps want to go talk to the man whose paintings were stolen?
Joshua?
That's the name.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's so much. So we can either talk to Joshua, we can go to the bar Morgane was at, see if they have video footage, see if anyone was trying to talk to her, and see if some kind of magic voodoo that was casted on her. We can.
That's a good idea too.
There's
That's probably the more fruitful idea. Let's do that first.
or one of us could get rip roaring drunk and see if someone casts a spell on us to try and steal some art.
Let's make that you.
All right, hey, I mean, if, I'm down.
Just because you don't have celerity, do you?
Hey, look, you don't need to convince me twice to get.
You're
little bit
easier
of
to
a-
catch if something goes wrong. That is
Well-
my point.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm
You're
easier to
welcome,
catch.
honey.
All right, Spira, do we know the bar Morgaine was at?
You do. Maybe not a favorite haunt of yours. It is a bit of a louder, younger crowd, much more heavy EDM style music and fruity drinks. But you've been there before, especially when she's dragged you there. If you want to head there, so that would be, and I have a location.
How much driving does Dinah do?
How much driving does Dinah do? Dinah has no dots in drive. which
I just
means
mean,
that
like-
she can drive a car. That's
If Luther had an expensive car, would he trust Dinah with it?
she wouldn't do anything fancy with it. Yeah,
But like a stick shift on a modern car, would it?
honey.
Just saying.
All right, so that bar is actually City Lights. It's a little bit less centrally located than a lot of other bars and clubs might be more in the French Quarter. So it's a little outside of that city area, and it is actually an old warehouse that's been done up to be a nice little nightclub for the younger crowd. As I mentioned, it's heavy on that kind of house, EDM, electronica dance music, and is a bit of a favorite haunt for both younger toreadors and for Bruja. So
Why?
I don't remember what car we last said you had, so let's make up
I
another.
was just wondering that.
The car is the Mercedes AMG something.
Okay. So, valet pulls up with your car. You know that you're heading in that slightly outside French Quarter warehouse district. And as you pull up with Dinah, if you want to give us the roll, I'll let you know how you do.
I mean, why not? We just start now. Or I fucking hit the back button, and now it's gonna take like 10 seconds before I get that roll. It's
Oh no!
I mean, compared to previous technical difficulties, not too bad.
just one success.
Luther is a little extra excited about going and getting wasted with Dinah. He's had a long week. He feels like he could use it. So he's a little more reckless with his driving. Dinah, you've got that feeling you get now and then where you're like just gonna hold on to the side of that door. But eventually,
Hang on to this old shit handle right here.
but eventually you pull up to City Lights, which has a fairly large parking lot because it was an old warehouse. But otherwise, it's definitely been cleaned up. There is a very bright neon sign, huge over the door, that reads City Lights. And then all of the windows have been tinted to a dark color, but then you can still see sort of a line of neon light around the rim from inside. And you see a bouncer outside, but he's not being too stingy about how many or who he lets in. It's more of a counting heads kind of situation.
So there is a line or no?
There's a short line. There's a few people, and he's really just trying to make sure the person capacity isn't overloaded and that there isn't anyone walking in that's already maybe gonna cause too much trouble. If they've been bar hopping, you know what I mean?
Yeah, understood. Dinah, you ever been here before?
I don't know, have I?
You've probably at least been there to check out scenes and artists, even though the electronica scene isn't yours regular business.
Yeah, I've been here before. Not that often though.
I'm assuming you don't know the owner and could just walk in and ask for some videos of certain nights.
I wouldn't say you have that much familiarity with the club.
No, not with this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about this? I'll go in there and I'll start getting a drink, and you keep an eye on me.
I'll watch you. I got your back.
All right. All right.
I don't want to seem like I'm with you though, because then someone will be less likely to talk to you.
I agree. All right, and Luther will give her a little wink and start walking in.
Don't have any electronica lined up. Oh well, I'll have to be the song for now. Somebody, do you
It's
want to
not
take
the
over for
song,
us?
but it's like the song too, Electric Boogaloo.
I'll do my homework for next week and make sure I have plenty of trance and house and dubstep. Anyway, so you two walk in, and it's fairly ordinary in design and a little minimalistic. The bar at best is stands out a little bit, as it's got a marble top and metal framing instead of the traditional wood-based bar top. And a lot of the tables are also more like chrome and glass, very standard high bar top tables lining the walls, very large dance floor that even has sort of two levels to it. There's a starting level, then there's one that's a little lower down next in front of the DJ's booth. And then there are, of course, a set of stairs that lead up to a walking balcony. So there's a lot of people sort of hanging out and just looking down and watching dancers and other people that are even dancing up above on the second floor, quote unquote.
All right, I would walk up to the bar and just order some kind of cocktail.
A regular cocktail?
Yeah, like a well, hold on. Is this a Kindred bar or is
It
this
is not.
It is not. Yeah, so let's go with the classic tequila sunrise.
All right. Bartender nods and starts making your drink. Are you looking for anybody in particular?
Let's go with drunk women.
Straightforward. All right.
He's a simple man.
Our
He
Nigel,
likes tequila sunrises and his drunk women.
Whoa.
Long Island iced teas.
So I was gonna make you roll if you had something specific in mind, but if you just want a drunk lady at a dance club,
Just look
your
left.
cup runneth over.
Yeah.
So as you wait for your drink to be made and you look around, even just the nearby area, you spot a couple girls a little further down the bar who are laughing way too loud, even against the heavy bass of the music, and are definitely having a little more trouble with their heels.
Are any of them wearing a sash? And this might be like a bachelorette party.
Wait, what was that?
I'm making a joke if any of them were wearing like a sash or a tiara and this was a bachelorette party.
No, you do not see any clear signs of a bachelorette situation. It does look like it might just be two gal pals out and letting loose.
All right. Yeah, I'll walk up to him and y'all women having a good time tonight?
Y'all Dinah laughs
Yeah.
to herself, like, from the corner.
So the one woman is a little on the shorter side. She has dirty blonde hair that she had worked with a curling iron into some really nice ringlets, but you can see them already starting to fall a little bit. And she's just wearing a very simple but tight dark green dress. Her companion has shorter, like shoulder length brown hair. It's a little curly and messy. And she's wearing more like a nice dress skirt, or like a little skirt with a little blouse on it. They both turn to you, and it takes a second to focus on anything other than the jokes they were making to each other. And they look you up and down. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're out here for. Who are you?
Well, my name's Luther, and he'll reach out. And what is your name?
What? Okay. Anyway, the woman with the curled blonde hair says, "I'm Charlotte. This is Lisa. It's nice to meet you, Luther."
Are you here with anyone, or just by yourselves?
And okay, sorry, mouse wasn't working. They look at each other, a little iffy about that question. Go ahead and roll me charisma, empathy.
Oh god. Having him roll.
Well, a stranger
Or-
just walked up to a couple girls at a club and asking,
No, I'm just worried for poor Luther having to roll.
4 successes. No problem on this roll. She keeps on asking me to roll. It's eventually going to have like a double botch.
So they look a little iffy for a second. Strange guy just walked up and started asking them a bunch of questions. They're trying to figure out what you're looking for, but they giggle and you seem, very charming and warm. So no, it's just the two of us. We haven't seen each other in a little while, so we were just catching up. This like your first time City Lights?
Yeah, it's my first time here. I had a friend tell me about it. I thought I might come and check it out.
How are you dressed?
In a suit, but not like it's not like a roll-in suit where it'd be like overly flashy. It is a lot more toned down.
So the brunette kind of waggles a finger in your direction. I mean, it's a bit dressed up for a dance club.
I agree. It is definitely a little bit too dressed up for a club, but I wasn't told what to wear when I was told to come here, so this is what I wore. In case I want to go somewhere else later on in the night.
The two girls just giggle at that. Oh, well, you should tell your friend to give you a better heads up.
My friends are assholes sometimes. That is correct.
The bartender at that slides up and hands you your tequila. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Okay.
I'll take it. I'll mock drink out of it, put the straw in my mouth a little bit, and thank him. Is
If
it?
he was wearing a suit, or I would have been like, honey, and like took off his jacket, like rolled his sleeves off, take this tie up there. Okay, go. Like at the end. But it's fine.
Is there anything I get for you two?
Oh, and they seem very excited by that. Yeah, I'll and the blonde puts up a finger. I'll have a Cosmo, and the brunette asks for a rum and coke.
All right. I'll order it for him.
So, another minute later, the bartender arrives with their drinks, which they somewhat greedily snatch up and begin sipping. Both of them leaning on the bar, looking happily to engage you a little further now for the rest of the night.
Yeah, are we just going to? Do you want me to role play small talk enough to butter these
I
girls up?
just want to know, like, your next move. Like,
Sure.
what's your plan?
Small talk enough. See which one is more engaged in Luther or more interested in Luther, and then, I guess, back alley her.
All right.
Why are you back alleying someone? That's a terrible verb.
Is that not what we call it? Is that
I-
not the correct?
I feel
think
like
that's
it's
the
got a
correct term.
different connotation for kindred. But yeah, so you continue chatting up the ladies, maybe even buy them another drink, and they're definitely quickly falling into a bit of a stupor. But they eventually drag you out to the dance floor. It doesn't really matter how well you dance because they're not doing so great themselves. Very much a lot of hands up in the air and just kind of bobbing on their knees. But as you continue dancing with the young ladies, the brunette Lisa does seem to continue dancing close to you, whereas Charlotte kind of loses herself in the crowd.
Then continue dancing a little bit. Then maybe like, hey, do you want to step outside real quick? Yada yada yada, and then bite her on the neck.
She seems a little hesitant about necessarily stepping outside, but you know, with your warmth and charm, you slip your arm under hers and kind of just lead her along that way. She's, all right. You go ahead and take, I'm gonna guess probably like 1 point.
It's 1 point is nothing to them. 2 points is kind of rough.
2 points is pretty safe, especially for a young, healthy person.
Oh, then yeah, 2 points.
All right, so you drink deeply from this young, inebriated woman, and you can actually, you don't taste the alcohol, but you can feel the essence of it as your body begins processing the blood, and within about a few minutes, you feel pretty drunk. Not as much as this lady is, but you've definitely got a solid buzz going that'll last at least about half hour to an hour. She is now much more noodle-legged, though, so I'll assume you help her back into the club somewhere.
Of course, Luther is a gentleman. He would help her out and find. I know her name's Lisa. Her other friend was Charlotte. He would probably help her find Charlotte and kind of be like, I think you need to take your buddy home.
So, Dinah, you were witness to all of this, and you've got your aspect, so I'm going to assume out of interest you were listening in. You see Luther come slightly stumbling back into the club, propping up this young woman and leaving her with her blonde friend before he, I assume, makes his way back over to you.
No, not to her.
More alcohol?
Yes, we don't.
We specifically don't want to be seen as being together because we don't want, just in case, like the point of this is to lure somebody into trying to trick Luther into doing something weird. So basically, if he's seen hanging around with another vampire, it's likely to discourage that. So
perfect. In that case, then, Luther, just give me 2 more charisma empathy rolls. And Dinah, go ahead and give me perception alertness.
as much as I love getting drunk with Luther, we do
So-
have a point here.
I got 5 successes on one and 1 success on the other.
Luther, so you continue winding your way through the club, looking for some quote-unquote dance partners to back alley. And so you find another young woman that you take another couple points from. Now you're hitting a real nice wave of feeling pretty drunk. The next woman you try is engaging for the most part. She starts dancing with you. She even is up to going to a little more of a secluded corner. But as you lean in toward her neck, she kind of puts a hand on her shoulder. Hey, you're cute and all, but hold on. Not that easy. But you got 4 fresh blood points and plenty of alcohol to last you a little while. Dinah, okay, you got 1 success. As you go off on your own, are you looking for a drink too, or are you just here?
Yeah, I'm just here.
Okay, but as you go off and look around the club, you're able to piece together the layout where the stairs that lead up to the walking balcony, if you take them and basically follow like a Z pattern, it leads to a finer landing on the 2nd floor that has an office. The window seems kind of blacked out, or it's just too dark up there to really see inside, but otherwise it's just kind of a 12 by 6 room with 1 window and a door.
Yep, I'll go up and I'll just kind of make sure I keep my eye on Luther. I want to keep Auspex up too, listening to him, so.
Alright, so we've got Dinah and Luther investigating the club where Morgane was when she supposedly was stealing those paintings. Let's actually check in with Abraham. So Abraham, you were busy earlier in the night when you were initially reached out to by your fellow friends here, explaining. Now you did initially go to Rebecca's apartment, right?
Yeah. Yes, I did,
Okay.
and then I believe I went to try and get with my my private eye
Yes.
to figure out what's going on.
Alright, so you meet up in person with your private eye contact, and you relay as much information as you have and feel comfortable explaining. I'm gonna assume this guy, I feel like we worked out that he vaguely understands some supernatural stuff, but maybe not finer points.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't necessarily spill out the details that she's a human magic user, but that there are a couple people in an organization that seem to be trying to find her, and it looks like she escaped her apartment before anything went bad, hopefully. With that information, the PI tells you that he's going to do his best to follow up with her work, and will do some additional digging to find any family members or anyone outside the obvious first contacts that he might be able to reach out to.
And solidly with respect for Theo, and also Rebecca, because I've learned to really like her too. Dude kinda has a blank check to get this done as quickly as possible.
And that's why that guy is loyal to you. So also, making use of your media ties. While speaking with you, think we named him Robert?
I don't know if we ever did.
I swear I did, but I think it was like 10 episodes ago. Let's see if I have it written down. Well, I'll write it down now, and he's Robert. So speaking with you, Robert asks, I understand, of course, this is within a 24-hour period, so police might be a little hesitant to, put any forces out on the street. Do you want to make any announcements, or is this trying to stay hush-hush?
I believe he's hush-hush. There are people involved that maybe the public should not know as much about.
Understood. And he sits thinking on it for a minute. Right, of course. So of course, if she's being haunted by somebody, don't want to put her picture out or too much information of even who's looking for her. But let's keep it open as an option if time continues on.
Yes.
Alright. And with that, are you going to text back or call Bjorn and Theo?
Yeah, I'll probably text Theo. Let him know, have gotten with a PI, and also eyes open in the media.
So Theo and Bjorn, you were just stepping out of Nigel's apartment, ready to follow him on whatever it is he's got up his wizard sleeves, when you receive your text from Abraham. Theo?
My bad.
I have texted you, let you know that I got with my PI and media contacts. No news yet, but they're humans. They sleep at night, so they're taking a second to wind up.
I'll just text back when you have a habit of losing my livestock.
I will make sure she knows this. Any luck on your end?
I'll just type back second-rate magicians on it. What I'm talking about.
You better hope he never reads that text.
Yeah, here's hoping he doesn't have technomancy.
Yeah, right. God, it's been so long since we played this game. Here, got it.
My favorite clan.
What? Come on, Tremere versus actual mage. One's definitely better.
Yeah, but if we're limited to just vampires,
fine, then he can be a first rate.
Actually, I think there are worse because there's way more specific stuff you have to memorize. As opposed to just, it's like freedom of creativity versus like a list of spells.
Yeah, it's creative versus using the pre-generated ones.
Yeah, so it really just depends on what you prefer. There's nothing wrong with either one.
And also, Spirit, just from my recollection, we are just leaving Nigel's apartment with me, Theo, and Nigel, correct?
Yes.
And Theo would step aside and start texting. That's kind of the setting that I'm in at the moment, correct?
Yeah. Jake dropped off Rebecca's cell phone that he had, and you saw Nigel take out a piece of white silk from his jacket and disappear in his spooky quiet room.
His maging room, so that he can go mage the maging.
Pretty much.
Mage the Maging, is that 3rd edition Mage?
It's an edition you wouldn't have heard of. It's second 2.5 edition, also known
It's
as
a
the
card
Maging
game.
edition.
All right.
Anyways, continue.
Okay. So we'll come back to Abraham in a minute. But Theo and Bjorn, you are leaving Nigel's apartment, as I mentioned. He has the cell phone in hand that has been wrapped with this white silk. And he starts heading out toward his own car in the parking lot, and seems to turn around just with a minute pause. I do take it you both want to follow?
Yeah, I was about to ask, exactly what are you doing?
Nigel holds up the cell phone for demonstration and says, "You understand at least the cartoonish aspect of a bloodhound sniffing something with someone's scent and following that trail. I'm doing something very similar. There's a path I can see as long as I have this in my possession. I am the only one that can see it, but it should hopefully lead us to wherever Rebecca is. At least as long as she never passed any moving water, which, being where we are, is a possibility, but hopefully that isn't the situation."
Oh, so it's a line that only you can see. How convenient. And I'll give him a nice big smile, slap him on the back. I'm just fucking with you. Lead on.
For a moment, you've got him led along, and he seems worried that he might have upset you, or you might be a traditional Tremere hater. But then when you mention you were laughing, okay. And he leads you out to a nice Mercedes that's probably about 10 or 15 years old, but otherwise in well-kept condition. And he gets in the car, starts driving off, and you'll immediately notice, or after a short while, notice that he is actually heading in the direction of Rebecca's apartment.
If we keep going for more than just a moment, So, where exactly are you taking us, Nigel?
He looks over, his brows furrowed, and said, "I don't know. That's the point of this. I'm following the line that she's taken. Well, it's going to lead me to her latest location, but I'll have to see where that is." He sounds a little hesitant and then sighs. "It's like a line of light in front of me. That's about all."
I'll just go ahead and, nod along with everything he's saying, kind of stroking my beard, feigning more understanding than I have. I completely understand what he's saying. We'll drive on for another few minutes, and if we're still heading in the direction of her apartment? Okay. Nigel, we're not by chance going, and I'll kind of vaguely describe the location of her apartment from where we're at.
So you describe the local area and...
Be like, well, from what I understand, I'd be like, well, it's probably another, 10 blocks to the northeast is kind of where we're going.
So he looks around, and being a resident of New Orleans for quite a long time himself, he starts to nod and says, "It does look like that's the direction we're heading," and pointing, even though he knows you can't see it, he says he kind of makes sort of a turn with his fingers that shows you, yeah, you're going to be heading in the direction you would for her apartment.
I'll turn to Theo. So, how funny would it be if we just end up back at her apartment?
I mean, I didn't actually check the refrigerator to see if she was in there.
Did no one check behind the shower curtain? That'd be the first place to hide, right?
It's conceivable we didn't look very well.
I'm not going to poke further, and I'm going to let Nigel draw the conclusions he wants.
He definitely hears you, especially if you were trying to keep it super quiet. So he sighs again and says, it does look like that's the direction we're heading. Hopefully the line continues afterwards, though, is what will be the best situation.
Nigel, I'm not doubting your ability as a... Is it offensive to call you a mage? I don't know the etiquette here. I'm not doubting your ability as the Tremere user that you are. I'm just finding this funny if we're going to end up back at her apartment after all this time. That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead and give me a perception empathy roll.
Difficulty 6?
Yeah. And Theo, you can as well if you want.
Oh my god, how do I even roll dice?
Oh, huh.
Where's my character sheet?
That will... Oh, sorry. I re-rolled that because I looked at Elvish Dames, not mine, so they can ignore the re-roll. But that will be one success.
Okay. You suspect from Nigel's body language and a shift in his shoulders that when you continue kind of laughing and talking about how it'd be funny if you end up there, he seems concerned about the blasé attitude you have. But he remains quiet, just both hands on the wheel driving. Other than that, he continues driving, and eventually, yes, you do end up at her apartment. He slows and parks the car along the side of the road, and looking up at the building, you see the cogs turning in his head, and he's tapping his fingers on the wheel, definitely trying to think of something. After a minute, he says, "So, of course, you've searched her apartment, you said?"
Yes.
Well, it does seem that my bloodhound line of lights is leading inside. I think it might be best if I take a look myself and see if it leads anywhere else.
Well,
I mean, she did jump out the window, so...
Well,
we're in your hands, Nigel.
yes, if that was her means of exit, then that may be where we need to go. So, heading inside and up to the 3rd floor apartment. At this point, you guys closed and locked it, if I remember correctly?
I'm sure someone did.
I believe so. So he's going to ask you if you have a way in or if he should take care of it himself.
I'll just smile and be like, well, I'm not gonna say no to seeing a magic trick.
So, with a little bit of a aloha mora that doesn't seem to have any specific hand-waving or voice or vocal cues along with it, you do hear the lock turn and unclick, and he pushes the door open with his shoe and takes a peek inside before actually stepping in.
Well, I'll just go on in then.
So he takes a couple steps inside and... hold on. Gotta roll for the NPCs as well.
really quick. I just want to say, Zabani, you're my soulmate.
Alright, so Nigel takes a look around the apartment, seems to have the right head on his shoulders and isn't touching anything or trying to disturb the area too much, but you do see his attention, his head turn sharply to a small bookshelf in the corner, and he starts making his way over. Pulling down his sleeve, he picks up a small notebook that was on top, flips through it, and sets it down. The expression on his face, very disappointed.
So, what's the prognosis?
Nigel shakes his head and says, well, the line of light does actually go out her window, so that will be our next step, but and looking at the notebook again, he looks like he's got an itch he can't scratch, and he shakes his head again. There's something, some sort of resonance left on this sketchbook. I was hoping perhaps she left a message, but all the pages seem blank.
Not to further compound my ignorance here, but they might be blank to normal eyes. Is there... Okay, like, listen, you remember during World War II where spies would, like, write in citrus acid or something on a sheet of paper, and then you use UV light in order to look at it, that send messages back and forth? Is there something that only somebody in your position would be able to look for in these pages, something she had written down with, God, I hate using this word, magic invisible ink?
He gives you a bit of a genuine smile at that, understanding the childishness that comes with the word. But then he just taps his foot, thinking with his arms folded. There is a potentially short list of things I could try, but it's a little bit of a shot in the dark, and plenty chance if there is actually something here, without knowing how to reveal it, I could potentially damage the message, or the notebook itself.
Hold on, bro. If she left a message, she would probably leave it somehow so we could get it. I mean, she wouldn't have known that we could find a Tremere to, like, look at it. She'd probably think we were looking. Does anything seem important to the book? Like, she would, like, this was a message for anyone else? Like, we would have looked in this place and seen this book and went, ah, that is relatable in some way.
No, it looks like a very plain, ordinary notebook.
So nothing eye drawing, and it's all just blank pages?
Yes.
Well,
Or it could not even be meant for us, and that's just her diary, and we're about to magically nuke it.
I mean, no real loss if that's the case.
Don't you want to know what Brad said to her the other day?
As much as I am dying to know exactly how Brad and Tiffany's relationship is going, Nigel's the expert here, the one who understands the situation that we're dealing with and all of the assets involved. Look, Nigel, you're the expert here. we're taking your why didn't my hold on one sec, apparently a webcam dropped.
Yes, it did.
I'm back now. If we need to fix anything?
No, it kept a placeholder up, so you're good.
Oh, beautiful. Look, Nigel is the expert in the situation we're talking about. Neither you or I know anything about this, Theo, so Nigel, what's your recommendation?
But I do know about cause and effect and how people work. If she wanted us to find it, why would she pick a blank magical notebook that we'd be dumb and blind to? More likely.
So what's the loss if it's destroyed? If neither you or I could read it, what the fuck is the loss?
I'm just saying, we're not out of options. We can bring the notebook with us. I'm gonna look at Nigel. Like, can we just take the notebook with us and follow the line?
Nigel shrugs and says, I don't feel anything that is dangerous about it, so hopefully if it is something she tried to leave for either of you or someone else she knows. Oh, oops, I didn't notice they moved around.
You stayed the same in mine, Modi, but I guess you moved in the other ones.
Oh, I'm Bjorn now.
Everyone swap place.
I'm just saying we don't need to destroy it yet. We can follow the line. I don't know. I don't want to break her magical stuff.
Sure, the book might have some significance to her. Let's not destroy anything that we don't need to until we've exhausted other options. So is there a path out of here, Nigel? Is there someplace else we can go?
Yes, no, as I mentioned, the light goes out the window, so he marches over to the window, and again, trying not to touch anything right away, he does lean out and nods. She definitely went down the fire escape. Might be easier for us to just head back out that way.
Well, lead on, our bloodhound.
He has a momentary mixed reaction to that, but then nods.
Those are the words he used. The words he used!
Yeah, you don't just call someone a bloodhound, though.
I don't know what to call him at this point.
Magical bloodhound, gosh.
I'm sorry, I should put magic before every word that I use while talking to Nigel. You are correct.
It's magic, Nigel. Thank you very much.
My point exactly.
So, at this point, let's take a little break. It's on the hour, so as usual, this will be... Or if anybody in the audience has any questions for the gang about the story, their characters, or anything like that, feel free to ask them, or just anything in general. We'll answer them, and yeah, just gonna take a little bit of a break. Hopefully, someone will be joining us.
Woo!
Wow,
yeah.
Way to ruin spoilers.
What?
But yeah, so to answer your question that was up there, GM, Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Vlog is a short musical directed by the guy who directed The Avengers, featuring Neil Patrick Harris and Felicia Day, about a supervillain who's bad at his job. And it is basically the greatest thing.
It's pretty cute. It's only like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, it's not long at all.
It's in 3 15-minute parts.
Yeah.
SCP, you got a request.
A request?
Graham, how do you want me to say it? Like, do you want it in a character's voice? Do you want it just the way I would say it?
I mean, would you say that?
Would I say, "Hey girl, how you living?" Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say it. Yeah. I just want to know how he wants me to say it.
So how's things?
Are we gonna do the what's everyone drinking that we normally do?
I have water and a chocolate protein shake.
Add some sultry to it.
Yeah, this my fridge dying has really done wonders for my my caloric intake. Because I don't like beer anymore because I don't like warm beer.
Here, Super Chocolate Bear, say it like Roland's saying it to O'Connell.
Okay. Man, Roland's voice. Oh man. Hey girl, how you living?
Yay! That was fun.
That's way creepier coming from Roland.
Oh. Or was that all Vogue had to say was just, is that Stitch?
Yeah, it's definitely Stitch. He's over there. He's just...
That is super adorable. Hi, Vogue. How you doing?
Oh, so cute and fluffy!
I feel you, Graham. I feel you.
I would like to stop coughing.
So yeah, what is everyone drinking?
So I have run out of Mountain Dew, so I'm no longer drinking rum and Mountain Dew, but I'm drinking rum and Coke Zero now.
Were you mixing rum and Mountain Dew?
Yeah, what's wrong
You
with that?
Fucking monster.
No, not Monster. Rum and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, rum and Mountain Dew.
Okay, my bad.
Now it's rum and
Mountain Dew
Coke.
and Mountain Dew and Monster would just be awful.
And again, because Great Big C said it best, it's the old black rum. Because what other rum is there?
I mean, that's
Love
what I have
me
on
some
my
Coke.
fridge. But it's not cold. What about you, Scoob? SCB?
I took Diet Snapple and mixed it with Zachary Boone.
Is Zachary Boone a bourbon?
Zachary Boone is a Kentucky straight bourbon, not mixed with grain alcohol. That is actually
Not a gay,
pretty
not
good.
a gay bourbon, but a straight bourbon.
Straight bourbon. And anyone want to take a guess on how much it costs?
How big is that bottle?
75.
It's a fifth. It's a fifth. 700.
$4.99.
milliliters.
$25.
Are we doing prices right?
Tree Fitty.
Although I'm speaking
$1.
a Virginia ABC dollar amount, which I don't know if that compares to actual liquor
Alright,
stores
look,
or
if
what
we're
Washington liquor laws are. So
if we're doing prices right rules, $25.01.
Okay. So we
Oh,
got
go fuck
$25.
I'm going for $1.
$1. Okay.
okay, what is it? What is it?
It $10 before.
Okay, okay. What's a fifth of like Captain Morgan? Where you're at?
Captain Morgan would probably be like 20 before tax, and then maybe around like 25 after tax, because it's ridiculous up here.
So your liquor prices are about where we're at then. So that is fucking cheap.
It is cheap, and we bought it because we were like, we're going to this party, everyone's gonna drink it. Fuck everyone. I'm not gonna buy like nice whiskey for them. And we got there, and I poured a glass, and I was like, oh no, this is good.
Oh no, I don't want other people to drink this.
Yeah, I
I
was
want
like,
to bring it home.
it was more like, oh no, this is only $10, and now I have like what I'm always going to buy from here on out when I don't want to spend too much money.
No, it's just like so for last New Year's, like I looked up like cheap champagne replacements, and I found one that was like it was like $10, and it was really good. Like it was kind of surprisingly good, and it was only $10.
Yeah, and I was like, well, maybe it's like grain alcohol mixed with like other stuff like they do with other things, but nope, it's just actual whiskey. So I found it.
So for a $10 fifth, how is it?
It's good. It's obviously, I want to say it's very high in corn. Like, I'm not sure if they put any rye or anything else in their mash. Like, I think it is like just a straight corn.
I mean, that's bourbon.
3-year age.
That's bourbon.
Bourbon can have a mixture. If I remember, bourbon has to have
51%
51%.
corn.
I'm saying they did like 100% corn. They were just like, yeah, corn, all of it. There's nothing else that we can put in this. Corn's the only thing ever. And that's all they did. A lot of other ones, like if you have like spice in it or something else that you could kind of like hit notes of, it's probably has more than just corn in it, but I'm assuming this is just corn.
Oh shit.
Okay, so
Okay.
thanks for coming, guys.
We're ending the stream now.
Or what's happening?
Didn't you hear the sound?
No.
Fucking
No.
heard.
Wrong person.
Sad face.
I'm
She's
just
not-
waiting for them to join camera and just ruin everything.
Oh, what? That says Zydrate. It's not.
What? That was that was my
Yeah, that's what I said. Wrong person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got all excited there for a second.
Not that we don't love Zydrate coming and joining.
No, I'm
True.
definitely witnessing some yelling at her. I kid.
On camera too. Oh.
What?
What?
Hmm?
No, I was explaining to my wife that we all thought she was somebody else joining, and that's what the mix-up was.
Looks like you're mansplaining to her. Looks like you got kind of high
That's what I-
tone
Yes,
too.
because if
That's
there's
what I
one thing,
saw.
if there is one thing you need to know about my relationship with my wife, it is that my penis dominates everything, and is the only thing that matters in any conversation. And it's not that she does more chores around the house, pays more bills than me, takes care of me, and treats me like the little bitch that I am. No, my penis is mightier.
As well it should be.
Thank you.
I heard.
Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, you used the term "my wife," which I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
That was mainly to explain to everyone who Zydrate was, because they might not know who she is.
You could
and
just
that's-
say wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
or,
wife.
or like perhaps the old ball and chain. That's an acceptable.
But she's not a ball and chain. If anything, I'm her ball and chain.
The oven cleaner, you know.
No, Articus's wife cleans her oven.
My
Sure.
oven's self-cleaning, thank you very much.
Yeah, you
I'm okay with a dirty oven, really.
Yeah, who you trying to press with your clean oven?
I've never started with a
obviously the
clean
number
oven,
of
so-
dinner guests that we have.
Matter
I've
opening
never
up
had
your
a
oven?
brand new oven. It's always been a used oven, so I don't actually know what a clean oven looks like.
Weird. Let me just say weird.
Who's got?
It's not
one?
black
Like,
and
I read,
crusty
bro.
everywhere. Not like carbonized and crusty on every surface.
Yeah. It should be. All right.
You
Wait.
need the flavor bits.
Okay, is that seriously? Okay, for real, that was the blur.
Okay. That's what we were looking for.
Now we can shut it down. Everyone out.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay,
Bye.
have fun.
now we're
Thanks
for
for
real this
coming.
time.
Guys.
We're good. Shut down the stream.
All right.
She probably doesn't even have like a computer hooked up or anything.
I mean, it's on.
That's
Yeah.
debatable.
Like, is it ready?
I feel like this is a moment out of Big Daddy. We wasted the good surprise on you.
Hey, so what are people playing?
What do you
What
mean?
are-
Like in our lives?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
currently playing Bjorn, a gangrel elder.
I hate you.
I'm sorry. What did you
I'm-
want me to say?
Video games. What video games? I'm trying to
Tabletop?
entertain people.
Does
Inquisitor
tabletop
Murder
work?
is currently the game I'm playing, and oh god, there's a face I haven't seen for a hot minute.
All right. I am. If I lean low, I'm still Abraham.
Oh, what's up with this new setup? Look at this backlight, this front light, side light on one
The
side.
right light
You have a chair now?
What even room is that?
Oh. Is she in Panama right now?
I think
she is Panama.
Hope, are you in Panama or California right now?
I'm in California.
You're not in the same room though, right?
No. That was in Colorado. She's in California now.
Okay.
Dude, where's the easel at with your whole like to-do list?
It's in Colorado.
Why did you leave it in Colorado?
Because I drive a Mazda 3. It won't fit.
Come on, priorities. Did you really need to pack all those clothes?
Do you really need like 50 pairs of socks? Or could you have an additional easel?
I packed one pair of socks and regret it hard. So
That's nasty.
I mostly just wear flip-flops.
I mostly just wear
I'm not a
flip-flops.
socks and sandals gal.
No. I mostly wear flip-flops. I usually pack like 5 or 6 pairs of socks just in case I need them.
Yeah, but like I only wear flip-flops and I forget that shoes need socks because I don't really wear them.
Shoes don't need socks. Socks are a lie. Socks are evil, and socks are Satan's literal embodiment upon this earth that we should eliminate socks from our Christian society.
I'm down to vote for you for president.
Guys, Modi 2020. Let's get with it. Socks are evil. That is my entire platform.
I've hung out with you, drunk Modi. I don't want to know the bills you would try and pass.
My secret is I would be drunk 24/7 as president, so it would be great bills. Nothing but the greatest bills.
You haven't proven to me that isn't currently the strat going on in the White House.
I mean,
Trump
I
doesn't
wasn't gonna go there.
Trump doesn't drink though. He's
He's a teetotaler.
But I mean, we're
I
not
don't
gonna
know,
have this
12
conversation.
I don't know. I think I would be drunk if I drank 12 Diet Pepsis a day.
Let's.
Somehow it turns into alcohol in your body. Your body's just like, I don't know what to do with this.
And like 10 years later, someone rewatches this video, like, oh yeah, I remember that time. Like, we have immediately dated.
No.
I want you to know that
No.
I'm happy to think that we'd be 10 years running, like,
Oh, what's gonna stop us?
Hey. And I like to think that someone in 10 years looks at this and goes, oh, I don't remember that time, which is for the best.
Like everything World of Darkness, we are incredibly dated.
Hopefully the lizard overlords reset the simulation so we don't have to worry about any of the real life things and we just get to do this again.
Because the 90s was the best time ever.
Was it?
According to World of Darkness, have you not read World of Darkness, Lord?
I don't know. I guess it was into 2000s that they brought out the Weekend Nightmares and not a big fan. Anyway.
30-year-old ones.
Is Hope's character just gonna get beamed down Star Trek style into the room with
thanks
cause?
for reminding me to open my character sheet.
And then just go magic.
We're gonna jump out this window, and then she'll just be standing like, "Oh, hey guys, I've been here the whole time."
Next to the
No,
goat.
she'll
Wow, how did
teleport
none of
in
you see
and then
me?
like say no words, and then slowly out of a hat comes Tuna.
I have spent $37,000 looking for you. You owe me.
If I did anything, she would show up riding the goat. I don't know what happened.
The fifth goatman of the apocalypse.
All right. And we're back?
Yes, okay. So, Abraham,
Yes.
after meeting up with Robert, your PI, you head back initially to your penthouse apartment, where once you open the door, you actually find a note on the ground.
I will pick it up and read it.
So, as you read it, it says A, comma, as if that's the address, read in reverse, R.
I will flip it over for starters, because, the easy answer is probably the one you should go with the quickest.
There's nothing on the back.
Alright, cool. Then what I think the message is I want to look into the past of this note.
Yes.
However, I don't remember the dice for that. That's... Perception... Oh, I don't remember.
Hold on. Do. Perception, empathy, and you don't have a emotional connection to the object as much, but to Rebecca, which she wrote on it. So let's put the difficulty at 5.
Cool. Wow. That's a couple successes.
Okay,
So 9 successes.
So the note turns into a howler from Harry Potter. No, but
I remember the tree that this paper was made out of growing.
Yeah, no, you actually do get a vision, like, of her writing it, and even what seems to appear, her casting something over the note. But looking at it again, where it says read in reverse, it then changes as if it just sort of like fades into a different message, and says, hiding from the suits, leave a message in the mailbox at, and there is an address to meet up.
All right. Then I will... I'm going to text Theo, have a lead. And then I'm going to head in the direction of that area with pen and paper, because I was told to leave a note.
Once again, Abraham, can you tell us who you're texting?
Did I say Abraham? No, I said Theo. I
know.
meant to say Theo.
I know. Somebody was a little busy.
Sorry, I've been spacing tonight. I don't know why.
We're not playing mage.
What was my text?
I just texted you, have a lead, and that's the whole text.
Okay. I'm glad we have that settled.
Have a lead, and then probably, like, in a couple of seconds, we'll say, we'll update soon.
Cool.
Okay, Abraham, are you going to head there or wait for...
I will head there.
Okay, we will need to pause with Abraham for a moment, because I need to ask Rebecca a couple questions. Now, I know where this address goes to, but is that where you're staying, or are you elsewhere?
She is elsewhere.
Do you want to leave it at that, or do you want to actually play that out?
I can't remember if I planned this. Give me 3 seconds.
I'm still dying, so it's okay.
Spira, please don't die. We
I'm
need
trying not
RST.
to.
You're the most important member of this group.
I mean,
If you die, we're gonna have to replace you with, I don't know, Koss or Zibs, and it'll be a shit.
Oh, I'm already running a game.
She is currently in her sanctum, so she is not at that address.
Okay. So, Rebecca, you sensed early, that these two gentlemen were coming. Not like hours, like you sensed what was going on. So you gathered up Tuna. You escaped your apartment, as far as this is what everybody else has basically figured out anyway. You escaped your apartment out the window with Tuna in tow, but not really anything else, and you didn't notice until a bit later that you had dropped your cell phone. That was part of the reason you left a note with Abraham rather than, and I mean, of course, perhaps not good to leave any electronic trails anyway. So, after leaving that note, and making any small contacts, you did tell the hospital that you needed to switch shifts, but other than that, you took off to your sanctum. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. It is like an abandoned shop at a dead-end mall someplace. Formerly a yoga studio.
And how do sanctums work?
They are a place where the magic you do is considered coincidental and not vulgar because the area itself conforms to your belief. As well as, depending on the level of sanctum, it will have some sort of degree of cloaking where it can be difficult for people to find or notice.
Perfect. All right, so Abraham, you begin following the trail to this address. And Rebecca, can you tell us what this house is like?
The house that was, I'm sorry, the house for the address?
Yes.
It's kind of like a townhouse, but it's wildly, decorated on the outside with like flamingo lawn ornaments and gnomes and shit where it can fit the things. And then in one of the windows is a big old flag of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay. Abraham, as you pull up to this address, you do see a mailbox where you could leave a message. Otherwise, because it is a little after midnight, it is very quiet in this neighborhood, and certainly all the lights and everything are out in this house. It doesn't look like anyone is awake if they are home, but there is a car kind of parked right outside.
The note that I'm going to write is, sorry for the damage to your car, and I'm going to put a bogus phone number and put it in their mailbox.
Okay. Rebecca, do you have any way of knowing that something was left there?
She'd probably just check every day or something like that.
All right. In that case, we're gonna hop back to the club, where Luther is plenty drunk, and Dinah is along to help with their hopeful bit of ensnarement, entrapment. We'll see.
Yeah.
I am just observing. For now.
So I was talking to a girl, and then she kind of just like, she noped me out. She was like, nope, nothing for you.
Yes, that was the end of the last scene. And as I mentioned, Diana, you've got a good layout of this place. You saw where the office for probably management is.
Okay. I guess I can I don't want to leave him alone. No, if there's cameras in there, we can see them. More about escape. I do have presence. Is there anybody in there?
From the outside, the doors close and the window looks pretty dark, so it's difficult to tell. Go
I wasn't
ahead.
super gonna bother because I was just kind of waiting to see if anything happened with Luther, and I didn't want to leave him out of my sight,
No, of
just in
course.
case.
But as you're waiting, you do actually get a text on your cell phone. Sorry. Which says, "What are you doing tonight? Dash Hector."
Oh no. Oh no. Just out with a friend, why?
So it's only about another minute, but then you get another text from him. Sorry. You get another text from him that says, "Can we meet up?"
Shit. Now, this getting Luther drunk thing was really like a Hail Mary anyway. I'm going to try and make sure we get Luther home okay. Before that, though, I'm going to respond, yes, like where?
He texts back, "Public or private?" question mark.
Fuck it, let's push this button. Private.
It takes a little while, but then he texts you an address. Doesn't say anything else.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to put it in your phone, basically Google/GPS, it seems to be an old like clothing store that is in a kind of strip mall that has been basically abandoned for quite a number of years. It was this place was a lot of individually owned stores that, just as the economy wasn't doing so well, almost like dominoes, just one after the other started closing.
Okay. All right. Well, first we're gonna go pick up poor little drunk Luther. At least take him to a different place if he still wants to hang out and be drunk. And take a last look around. Does anybody look like they're even kind of heading towards him at all? Anyone suspicious?
No, if you look around, you notice a couple local kindred, definitely younger though, mostly neonates. You recognize them, but nobody seems to stand out, and definitely no one seems to be leering in Luther's direction.
Okay, I'm gonna go pick up Luther then. Alright, so Dinah will kind of like walk up to him. What are you doing, Luther?
Right now, I'm chatting up some chick who wants nothing to do with me.
She
does,
thought you were
she
cute.
does,
She
she
was.
does.
She just wasn't gonna neck a stranger.
For sure. So
Oh, there
I,
you are. That's what you got.
Yeah.
The girl
Everything
laughed.
all right?
The girl laughs. Says, "This one belong to you?"
He can, sure. Yeah, I'll take him off your hands.
Is everything all right, Dinah?
Everything seems to be absolutely perfect, honey. Let's go. Let's get you home.
Oh, all right. He'll kind of like give a wave to the girl as I'm assuming, get dragged away into the crowd.
She just gives a little kind of finger wave, and and then as you start to walk off, she yells, "Get some water!"
Oh, that sounds like you had a good time.
Dinah, what's wrong? We're almost to the end of the plan, but you aren't letting me get all the way.
Well, we are though. See, you've been like this for a minute, and I don't think anyone's biting. You baited the hook real good. You did a very good job.
Yeah.
But nothing's nibbling. So and I got a text from Hector as well.
I'm sorry, Spirit. It's been a while. Who was Hector again? Was he the dude that?
The bad dude that I blood bonded.
Okay. Okay. What? Who cares? What Hector want?
I don't know exactly. He just said he wanted to meet up, so I figured it might be important of a kind of a lead, if nothing else. So I'm gonna do that also, since this doesn't seem to be going anywhere. But do you want to still keep having a good time, or do you want me to take you home?
No, it's all right. I mean, I can't come with you.
Not like that, honey.
Not like what?
I'm no judgment. I do this with you all the time, but I don't. These people sell that, kindred, and you're kind of maybe not in the best decision-making process state of mind.
If you want to, you can purge it.
You can?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You can spend blood to get rid of it. But it would still make sense if Dinah was like, "Hey, you're having fun. Do you want to have fun, or?"
Actually, still, it's like you want to keep going and have fun. I can drop you off in a different club, or I can take you home. If you really want to come, you just have to get rid of that.
So, yeah, okay. But what do you have to do to purge? Like, what physically happens to a kindred when they decide to purge alcohol? I mean, do they just kind of like I'm good? They just kind of shake it off and just shimmy a little bit and just, no, I'm not drunk anymore.
Technically no, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Because that's hilarious.
Luther just convulses for a
It's a
moment.
little like,
All right, I'll kind of shake it off, I guess, as we do. Now it's Dinah. If you're gonna go see him, let's do it together. I mean, you might as well have me there. Not that I could do much, but we could help out in some way, I'm sure.
I appreciate it. All right, he did say that where he was going was, quote, private, and I show him the text as well as the location.
Should we maybe text the location to the group chat so they all...
Good idea.
There we go. All right, I'll drive, you text.
All right. So I send that to the group text that, like, Hector texted me, and then send the location. Going there, he said to meet in private, just letting you know this is where I'm going.
all right. Theo and
3
Bjorn.
successes in driving.
Theo and Bjorn, you are still out with Nigel. You guys were leaving the apartment and basically heading down the alleyway that'll take you out to where the fire exit ends. And he mentions once you get there that the path does continue out the back way, the rest of the alleyway, or kind of along the buildings in the back. And you do get a text from Dinah with an address mentioning Hector wants to meet up with her. Abraham, you also get this text message.
Both Theo and myself get the same text message.
Yes, I believe Dinah meant to do it in the group chat you guys have going on.
Okay. I'll respond to that text message with just a, is it an immediate importance? Because we're in the middle of something. And with that, I'll kind of just, egg kind of Nigel on, just be like, no, keep going.
No, but if I don't respond in an hour, maybe come get me.
You'll get a K as a response, nothing more. Because nothing more really needs to be said.
Alright, so Dinah and Luther, you're going to be heading to this address. Abraham, did you reply with anything?
Nope. I am focusing on this wild goose chase that the mage is sending me on. It's not a very long wild goose chase, but it's...
I imagine Theo over in the corner. What, there's a goose?
Rebecca, what form or how would you explain the protection, like the hiding power of the sanctum is?
It's a 1-dot sanctum, which gives it a dot of arcane, which I believe basically just detracts 1 dice dot from someone trying to, or one die from someone trying to find it.
Okay. Now I get to do some system mechanic math. Talk amongst yourselves for 1 second.
Yeah.
So how you shits doing tonight?
So happy we get to do this again.
Fight!
Again, I'm really tired, but I'm sticking it out. Woo, we got this.
By the way, who is Hope?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, who is this guy?
Who
Yeah.
is this girl named Hope
Who is this guy?
in this game?
Who is this?
Who
How'd
is
you
this?
get this number? Why are you in the
Hey,
chat?
who the fuck is
I
this?
don't know. I just clicked the Zoom link and I'm here now.
How'd you find this place?
To go away
How do you
there.
have a title card?
She didn't even create the right character, guys. She created a mage.
Dude, I thought we
Nerd.
were playing vampire, not me.
I thought we were playing General World of Darkness. That's a solid whoops on my part.
No, because we
Now
can't
it's
play
wrong.
mummy.
I'd be
So
rolling a
obviously,
hunter
we're
or
not-
You
demon
can't
right now.
play mummy.
Let's
What am I
together,
gonna reroll now?
All the splats together is fine. It's the best. Just throw them all in. It's great.
Thank you, Mr. Law.
Rebecca, what was your sanctum again? You said an abandoned.
Yoga studio.
It's like in a like basically abandoned strip mall. It's a former yoga studio. It's kind of boarded up.
All right. So, Bjorn and Theo in Nigel's car again. He follows a trail that, as he described, he can see as a line of light, but is invisible to the two of you. As he continues to drive, there is a couple points where, at a stoplight, he looks a little confused, and, like furrows his brow and seems to concentrate a little harder, but then continues driving along. Eventually, he pulls into the parking lot of an old strip mall, and parks the car. Looking around, several of the stores are potentially like slightly boarded up, like they look like they have been closed. Other ones look like they're still in business, but at this time of night they are definitely closed up. No lights on that you can tell, and Nigel just sighs. This is where the trail seems to end.
Can you be more specific? Is there a specific shop or something where it dims out?
He steps out of the car, and like he had at the stoplights, he seems to concentrate.
Okay, can I name the shop? Can I name the shop? Can I name
Yes.
it? It's Namaste to Day Yoga.
I love it.
I hate it.
Let me write that down.
I
That
quit
is
everything. I just quit.
The
I quit.
worst.
I would think Zabani would love that.
No, I hate it, but that's a good thing.
That is like the whitest name for a yoga place.
It's so good. Shut up. It's great.
It's
so
fantastic.
good.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
terrible. It's so good.
Now you know why they went out of business.
Everyone saw it and was like, ugh.
I first thought I was like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go anywhere near there. And then the whole strip mall died.
The name
Like,
was so good it
So,
killed.
so like I don't know.
Single-handedly killed strip malls.
I don't know what a good yogi is. Like what is the sign of a quality yogi? But I imagine the person who ran this was actually an amazing yoga master. But the name was just so bad that people wouldn't go in.
Yeah. No, I'm into it.
So Nigel seems to try and focus on the stores, and he shakes his head a bit. The line usually stays pretty solid until I either find the person or it breaks for a specific reason, such as I mentioned earlier about passing over moving water. It seems to just, and he puts a hand out to kind of emphasize the way it looks to him. It's almost like a mist in front of the set of stores over here. But
As soon as he starts kind of like vaguely pointing into like this group of stores, Bjorn at a half trot just kind of starts running towards the general area of the buildings he points at.
What are the other store names in this little strip mall?
Oh my God.
Are any of them as ridiculous and terrible?
There's a Thai place called Tie You Up.
Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god, I love
There's a pho place called Good Pho You.
it.
they actually flank the yoga shop.
Are we certain this ancient strip
And
mall
then there's
is not
a
in fact a level of hell?
In between the Thai and the Vietnamese place, there's also a Korean place called Good for Your Soul.
Oh
There
my
you go.
God. Oh my god, I love it.
The strip mall was actually owned by one man, Francis E. Pun. He
Get
loved
out of
it.
here! Get out!
Yeah, he wasn't a man of good business. He was just
Yeah,
too
there's-
excited about the shop names.
Yeah. There's a yarn store called World of Woolcraft.
Just said
His
that I
son
gave
came
her
up-
shiny.
We're
Usually
done
I'm
tonight. Cut the stream.
His,
Cut it.
his son came up with that one, and he decided to honor the. All right, so Bjorn, you are at a half trot toward this flank of pun named stores.
I don't know which pun I'm going after, but I'm going after one of the puns in the general.
Yeah, I'll do the same. I'll just like shrug and follow after him a little slower than he's going.
I just want you to know that I'm Deadly Inhale said Titanic, and I'm really sad that I've not been to that restaurant.
No, it's
Like,
90210 Pho.
IRL.
No, that's in the neighboring strip mall.
90210 Pho.
Stop!
Okay, so we do have a fucking in my town.
Everyone has a fucking.
That doesn't matter. I'm still gonna be happy.
It's still a great name.
Okay. Rebecca, would you recognize people like moving into the area outside of your sanctum?
yeah, she would, and she'd run out the back, like not away, but she would try and put distance between herself and the sanctum because she doesn't want people going near it.
So you're not afraid of being found, you're just like, don't find me here.
Yeah.
Alright, unless you do any other fidgy-widginess, though, they're gonna hear a door from the other side of the buildings opening and closing.
Okay.
So, Nigel didn't trot after Bjorn, but since it's a abandoned parking lot late at night, he just kind of says out loud, "Well, we found something."
Who does he say that to? Because, like, both Theo and I are kind of like...
Yeah, I said because it's an abandoned parking lot in the middle of the night. He just kind of says it out loud. You can hear him. He didn't say
completely
it
ignore
directly.
him and keep moving towards...
Maybe chase the sound of the door. At probably a run now.
Toward the front of the stores or toward the back?
Wherever the sound is that we heard the door shutting, opening, whatever we heard.
So since it's a strip mall, it's a little bit of a jog, but you eventually make your way around the building and basically see Rebecca similarly running away from that like trio of stores.
I will chase her down.
Are there words or?
No, probably not. I just wait for you to notice.
I mean, how can't you notice a corpse running after you?
I mean, what could be misconstrued from that? How could that come off as
How
the
could it
friendly
be?
thing?
How is there a misunderstanding in there?
I don't see the problem, Bjorn. I don't get it. Theo running full bore at someone. How is that remotely a problem? He's probably got a coat full of puppies. It's fine.
Coat full of puppies and just wants a hug and smother you in cocaine. Like, there's no...
Unfortunately, these puppies are actually all black spiral dancers, so, you know, we're fucked.
Look! He didn't specify.
They're still puppies, okay? I mean, I wouldn't imagine I'm trying to hide my presence. I'm not, like, running quietly.
I mean, there might even be, like, a random Rebecca here there as we're running towards the store. What the fuck do we fear?
Not from me.
Yeah, she'll
Son.
turn around. She's got some brass knuckles in her hand, but she's much immediately happier to see that it's not.
That it's Theo and Bjorn running at her?
Yeah,
I mean,
that it's not. Yeah. And she'll run back and give y'all a hug. Big old hug. A hug that would threaten to lose a limb if you were decomposing.
so Theo loses a limb or two. Is that what you're saying?
I said threaten. I don't. He can have that decision.
I'm not. Bones don't, like,
I'll
no.
also be back in 1 second.
Bones don't break down like that. I'm not fragile.
I mean,
I don't know.
ligaments and tendons kind of do.
It's true.
But, like, the limb wouldn't fall apart; it would just fall off.
No, yeah,
I
no.
feel like if we stare too long at this problem, we're going to develop some problems. So I think we should zoom out a bit.
Only glance in that general
Only
direction.
glance in the
Don't-
direction of how exactly Samedi works.
Magic.
I know it's a little close, but since Bjorn had to run off anyway and my dog is crying, we'll take another little break. We're gonna see if this boy needs to go out for a little pee. And then we'll be back in just like a couple minutes.
Another little break.
We gotta ease back. We can't just give a full session. Gotta ease back into it with a couple problems.
Sorry.
Hope, how have you been?
I've been good, man. How have you been?
Doing good. How's the pan?
It was so much fun, man. The culture is super chill down there. It's
Is that down here? You're not there anymore.
No, I said down there. Like, every lunchtime, my grandma and the neighbor trade lunches because they're just cute that way. And there's the guy on the horse that comes by to sell milk and then takes the jug back when it's empty. And I'm
Does the milk taste different?
I don't know. I have a thing about drinking milk that's not from the U.S., so I didn't try it.
You have a thing about not drinking milk from the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like foreign cows. I don't like them in that way.
Wow. Seems kind of callous, you guys. Not sure how I feel about that. Though,
Just milk though, like beef and butter and shit. That's all good. Just
so I know
don't do milk.
You broke
What?
up.
I can't hear you,
Can't
honey.
hear you.
Can you still not hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I know in Spain they get a little bit weird about how they refrigerate dairy. Are they the same way down there in Panama?
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
Yeah, right? It's just that they don't. That is the weird thing about it.
So it creeps me out. I'm a little creeped out by it.
When me and my buddy went to Spain, we went to a show called Anti-Karaoke, and it's like a karaoke thing, but there's like a full-on stage for you, and everyone cheers for you like you're a fucking rock star, and everyone loves it. And there's the host of it, and she'll do like classic songs and stuff like that, and she'll have like a bottle of Jack Daniels, and we'll like pour it into people's mouths, and she'll also bring out whipped cream. And I'm drunk. I'm like, fuck yeah, I love whipped cream. Like, give me some of that. There's a photo of me right when she sprays whipped cream into my mouth, and I realize that this whipped cream has not been refrigerated. It tastes like uncheesy macaroni and cheese. And just sitting there like in horror with a mouthful of whipped cream that I absolutely hate.
I'm super into the cheese. I'm into butter. I had strawberries and cream down there, and they were really good. But like, milk is the line. I don't like room temperature milk. It's weird to me.
Wait.
Yeah.
There are people who drink not refrigerated milk.
Yes.
Yes,
They're wrong.
I know.
You all know this. We've had that it's like to the point too where you're going out for breakfast, you might want a glass of milk, right? We've all done that. I asked for it, and she looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, can I get a glass of milk? She was like, milk? I was
Why?
like, leche. And she was like, oh yeah, like just by itself? Like, do you want coffee in it? And I was like, nope, just a fucking glass of milk, man. And she like looked at me as she poured it into a glass, like, this is what you fucking want, you dirty asshole. And I was just like, and the whole time I was like, come on, like, let's hurry this up so I can fucking eat my ham. And she got it for me, and then afterwards she had to ring me up for it, but it was so foreign to her that she didn't know how to ring up a fucking glass of milk, and had to ask her coworker, and her coworker turned towards her and was like, leche, like a glass of it? And they're like, Americano. And I was like, fuck everyone, like, goddamn, this is not weird.
I just want to enjoy my milk.
Just give me a fucking glass
Who
of milk.
doesn't enjoy a fucking glass of milk? That's what I want to know.
The
The
Spaniards.
majority of the world?
Yeah.
And
I'm not a huge just milk. Nah.
I'll drink milk here. And
dude, you're wrong, Zibs.
I'm fine with
It's
that.
wonderful. Have you never eaten like half a package of cookies and been like, my mouth is really dry? Do you know what'd be perfect right now? Milk.
Well, no, I wouldn't get through half a package if I didn't already have milk.
Okay, yes, there's a little bit of an absurd statement, but
Donuts with a glass of
whatever.
milk.
Or a little. I just feel like Zabani is a heathen.
How is this news? Like,
fine.
how is this news at all?
Because you just surprise me in the ways that your heathen shows. Every day it's something new. There's a new way that Zabani is a heathen.
So, customer service down there is like a myth. It's an urban legend. Because no one does it, and it's always a shock when you first come into contact with it, because like no one smiles and everyone looks at you like you have some sort of mental disorder. And
That's my
like
favorite
that,
thing.
it's really great because they'll show up. I made a character in a Changeling the Lost game that basically has their customer service sense. Like, they will show up at your table and just stare at you until you say what you want, because they don't like just. And
we
then
had
when you order a thing, they will look at you like they have just been given the most difficult task of all time to write this down or like carry it out. And
Oh, I'm sorry. Waiters have the most difficult job in this entire world. I forgot.
It's not that. It's not they act like you're inconveniencing them by
Yeah.
going to their work.
yeah, that's really what it is. You are an inconvenience. And the way that Super Chocolate Bear had his milk thing was the way that when I asked for water in our small town, the water's really bad and I forget that when I go to restaurants. So like I will order a glass of water and they'll just stare at me like, you know what you're doing is a mistake, right?
Yeah, it's really funny how like us as Americans are just so used to having somebody just be fake nice to us. So when someone's not, you're just like, ugh.
Why?
Why? Fuck
It
you.
is weird. It is weird to not expect lead to be in our water. You're right.
That's not what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's
do
weird.
love that.
It's weird to be okay with like our personal space and not
We
want
had a-
someone to stand 4 inches behind us in line.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That one I can't. I don't care what culture you're from. I don't get closey people. Like, just get away with your wrong culture. I need my bubble. Like, I'm sorry. I can't do it. But we had a Russian teacher who went back to Russia after being in America for quite a while. And she accidentally, like, some guy thought she was hitting on him. Went to check out because she was doing the American nice thing, and it was like so alien to them. They were like, "Are you trying to get with me? Like, what's happening? Why are you saying hello?"
All right, so back to it. Theo and Bjorn have just discovered Rebecca, and Rebecca is now mauling them with affection.
This is odd.
If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Literally,
my
you are
God.
robot.
That was the most.
Literally robot right now.
What?
That
what
was
Just the filter you
amazing.
put on?
What?
How did that happen?
Hope, say something.
Hello?
Nope, you're
I'm
normal now. You're normal
I'm
now.
disappointed that you're normal now.
What happened?
Sound like
You
a
were
robot.
literally like wah, 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 robot.
Like straight up sci-fi robot voice.
You're like special effects in a really bad sci-fi movie.
Oh my god, that was wonderful.
This doesn't feel like a compliment.
It's not an insult either, though. It's not an insult. It's a statement.
It was exciting.
Anyway, what were you attempting to say, new robot?
I'm so happy to see you both. Never come here again.
Rebecca,
Is it like dangerous? Is there like magic mines?
regardless of that, Rebecca, where the fuck have you been?
I've been here, staying alive.
So you
Overrated.
just conveniently dropped your cell phone, left your apartment, and have disappeared off the radar, and worried all of us sick.
No, it wasn't convenient at all, actually.
Yeah,
it worked.
it wasn't convenient for any of us, so please explain yourself.
Sure. Remember those technocrats that I said, hey, maybe we shouldn't fuck with them because they're an actual problem and they might get us all killed? Remember that whole...
Particularly. No, I
Cool,
particularly
well, I
don't
do,
remember
and
them.
so do they, because they came to my house with a, well, you know, I mean, it was not invited. There was a bad intention there. I won't say whether it was death or some form of...
Real quick, I know you guys decided to bring the notebook along. Did you guys leave it with Nigel, or is one of you holding it?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I know you guys decided to bring the notebook along. Are either of you holding it, or did you have Nigel keep it?
If Nigel was using it for his magical purposes, I wouldn't have touched it.
I probably would have held on to it since he wasn't using it.
Okay. So, Rebecca, after letting go of your nice bear hug to Theo and starting to explain your story, you just get you can just see like a little bit of a light coming from inside his jacket that has like a very disgusting orange color and kind of a like off-putting feeling, like if a bad scent could be felt supernaturally.
She's gonna reach for it.
Like smack your hand away. Bad touch! What are you doing?
What the fuck do you have in your pocket?
You can't just reach into a man's pocket.
You can't just show up to a mage's sanctum. What's in your pocket?
Wait, what?
Magic space. You're not allowed here.
I'm sorry, what? Why
Also,
this
it's
is
a no
public
fault.
domain. Why aren't we allowed here?
Because I goddamn said, this is not a space that you're allowed to be in.
Theo, can
in
we
my
just
city.
start
That's nice.
saying there are places that she can't go?
Yes, we should.
Go ahead. Just
What about the red light district? Can we just ban her from the red light district?
It's your notebook? I don't know. We have a vampire mage with us, and he said it was magical and maybe important.
You have a
Can't read it.
vampire mage with you that you brought to my sanctum?
Look! You had disappeared.
Leave a note
The
next
technocrats
time.
were after you.
I did leave a
What were
note!
you supposed to do?
Where did you leave a note?
I left it at your house with Abraham.
Wasn't my house. You mean his house?
Actually, where did I leave it? No. Hey, Spear,
You
where'd you
left a
put the
note
note?
with Abraham. He didn't get it.
Where'd I what?
Where did Rebecca put the note?
You slid it under Abraham's door.
Okie doke.
I don't look at the floor.
Oh wait, the one for Abraham or the one in your apartment?
The one for Abraham.
Yeah, you slid it under his the door of his house.
Okay.
Sorry, I kind of freaked out because you stopped existing. So, like, I called in the Bloodhounds to find you. Thought you got kidnapped by technocrats. You didn't even text me like, hey bro, gotta run, call you in a few.
No, because my phone was on the floor. I thought that you would have seen that.
Do they not have prepaid cell phones in this dead strip mall?
Why don't you talk to Abraham? I left him a goddamn note.
I've been talking to that asshole for
Abraham has been with
600
us this
years.
entire way and has not said any goddamn thing about a fucking
Do you have a phone? Because I don't. How about we get to the bottom of this? Because someone isn't
And I
communicating.
will straight up pull my phone out of the pocket and hand it to you. Be like, here's a goddamn phone.
I'll also pull out the notebook you were asking about. You were inquiring about that was in my pocket.
Yeah.
As soon as you get a better look at it, it basically radiates like as if it's radioactive with what you would recognize as like a message that's been left for you specifically.
It doesn't look funny to us at all,
Nope,
does it? Though?
nope.
I would like to read this message.
You take the notebook, and as I said, it kind of glows this disgusting orange color. It just feels gross to touch. as you take it. And again, this is just Rebecca. As soon as you open it, you knew this notebook was empty, but you just opened to a random page, and there is a note that says, "Those that walk with deviants will fall with them."
She's going to look at this, and she's just going to chuck it on the floor and then text Abraham.
With Bjorn's phone?
Yeah. And when I said text, I mean call.
By the way, Bjorn, I will be like, Abraham's on it. He's under Abe. Like that wouldn't have been readily apparent.
Notebook from?
Nigel found it. He said it glowed.
From where?
Your house.
Your apartment. Where
cool.
else?
Awesome. Can we burn it? It shouldn't have been taken here. This was a terrible idea.
Well, you don't tell us the rules. You don't tell us where you're going, and now you're gonna bitch at us when we find you.
Goddamn right I am. You should talk to Abraham.
We talked to Abraham, and he told us fucking nothing.
As you yell that he should talk to Abraham, Theo's gonna look really pissed off, touch his head, and his ears are gonna melt closed. And he's gonna walk off. Like Theo's just like, no, I'm fucking done. No more ears, smooth skin.
Hey, does it catch through? I'm holding a water bottle to my face.
Bjorn, yes.
Hi, Abraham. Why didn't you tell? Did you not get the note I sent you?
That was very quick. I just left the note that you asked me to leave.
Why didn't you tell Bjorn or Theo that I sent you a note?
I just got the note. I was doing what the note said first, making sure. You were being... It was subterfuge. I was making sure you were not followed. I was being careful.
You're great, okay? You're great.
Thank you. Are you all right?
Yeah, we're gonna work on it. I'll talk to you later. Here's Bjorn if you want to talk to. She's gonna hand it over and go after Theo.
Hey, Bjorn. Hey, Abe. What's up?
What the hell happened?
What was the note that you were left with?
To leave a note in a mailbox.
Whose mailbox?
Not a clue.
Click. Rebecca, whose mailbox?
She's running after Theo.
And Bjorn is running after Rebecca. By the way, I have celerity. I am faster than you.
Abe is gonna go.
Running.
But Theo's not running, so like
It's just like
It's
blustering
an awkward
off.
situation.
this is a weird chase.
Abe is gonna go back to the mailbox and take the note, and then.
Who gets to who first? I want to know.
I'm assuming Bjorn to you, because he runs very...
Right, but how far away
I
is
imagine
Theo
all
at
three of you
walking pace?
I imagine all three of you get to each other at the same time because you're running and Bjorn's running even faster. So like all three collide or like reach at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Sure.
Yeah, Bjorn catches up with Rebecca, who's very close to Theo, like, maybe kind of like a bump into each other a bit.
Rebecca?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was this note I was supposed to receive?
The technocrats wanted to kill or kidnap or something. I left a note. for Abraham to read because he does time shit. So I could ensure a safe message. He was going to leave it in my grandma's mailbox. I was going to get it from there and then meet up.
Went sideways because here we are right now in this time, and I'm hearing of it, which I begs to question either of you actually being able to listen. Let's not go there right now because I don't need to drag us all into this giant shitstorm of what y'all can and cannot do, because let's ground ourselves in the present. The technocrats are after you, and I am assuming they're still after you.
The technocrats are after all of us, according to the note in that wonderful little notebook that you brought here.
The notebook was blank, first of all, so...
Definitely has a note in it. It's a magic note. I'm sorry, you can't see it.
Rebecca, we are trying to help you. Please
I'm
act
not
like
fucking
for a
with you.
fucking second like we're trying to help you.
I'm aware that you're trying to help me, Bjorn, and I appreciate it. You guys are way too close to something that is sacred to me. Holding something that can hopefully not lead the technocrats to this place, which is my last hiding spot in this town. I'm terrified. I know that you're trying to help. I am scared shitless.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to come off that way, but I'm just frustrated with a lot of shit being thrown around that I don't follow. And if it's dangerous to you, fucking burn it. Let's get rid of it and move on with this, so that we can resolve this entire situation. I just want this fucking resolved now. What do I have to do to resolve this?
We can try to find the people who left the note, who came to my house. Now give me 1 second, because got to take care of no ears here. You don't mind.
Of course.
He would have stopped walking and like turned to you guys and just like watching you two talk, just like, okay, whatever. He still can't hear anything.
Yeah.
We don't know if you can read lips.
Right. She's just gonna hug him again.
Hug Theo or Bjorn?
Theo.
Okay.
He'll roll his eyes but hug you back, just like fine. Touch his head again and just one ear open.
She'll make the she'll do this for a while, like until you bring your ears back.
Yeah, he'll bring him back.
Hey, thanks
So-
for coming for me.
Okay, good. Have we made any decisions? Do we need to kill that, like, blow it up or something? Will it help?
Yeah, probably.
So I'm not great with fire.
I'm
If-
fantastic. If we need something destroyed, give me the place, give me what needs to be destroyed, I will take care of it.
Should
That
we, like, get in the
notebook?
car and drive away from here with that now, or...
Yeah, just we need to get that notebook out of here, and I don't want to touch it any more than I already have.
Well, can't claim I'm clean. Now I'm gonna walk over and grab it. And head back towards our car. And, Nate, or, what's his name?
As you round the strip mall back towards the parking lot, you see Nigel basically leaning against the hood of his car with his arms folded, basically waiting patiently to see what happens with the rest of the night and where you guys ran off to. But as he sees you coming around with a young woman, he nods and smiles. So, I will assume this is who you were looking for?
Well, actually, I was trying to find her cat, but she'll do, I guess. I'll hold a door
Oh,
open
wait, you
for her.
want... Oh, we can... Tuna!
I mean, it's a smart cat, but it can't open doors. Will sum up, Rebecca goes back and grabs Tuna and comes back out.
During all of this, I will go ahead and grab the book that I've been told to dispose of, and every other sort of evidence that I can get off of Nigel and everything else that we've taken. Rummage through my pocket and pull out a lighter and light all of this on fire and just burn all of it to a crisp.
So the notebook and what else?
The notebook, and I don't think there's anything else that we particularly grabbed, but if there's something like a note or something, I don't think we did. I'm just covering my bases here. I don't think we literally grabbed anything other than the notebook, so I'm pretty sure it's just the notebook, but if there's anything else.
No. So you go ahead, and begin, trying to burn the notebook with your lighter, but it's got, like, a plastic front, and it's got the metal rings along the back, so...
I will fucking cover it in as much kindling as necessary.
As you start trying to destroy this book, Nigel chuckles, quietly and says, "Would you like some help?"
No, I would not like some help, and I will go gather some kindling to burn this book.
I'll look at Nigel and just nod yes as you walk away to get kindling.
So Nigel picks up the notebook. Before that, he goes and shakes Rebecca's hand. My name is Nigel. I was helping your friends here. I hope we weren't intruding on anything.
Rebecca, you're a vampire mage?
Yes, to put it succinctly.
What's that about?
Could you elaborate on your question?
I don't... How were you a vampire mage?
That is,
What
quite...
does vampire maging look like? Where does...
Well, and he goes and picks up the notebook. Then, with a flick of the wrist, he tosses it so it's about 3 yards away. 1 second. And, he lifts up one hand, kind of aiming it at the book, and it bursts into flames. Quite a large, almost as if a full campfire surrounded it, but just the fire. And then folds his arms calmly. That's at least one thing.
I'm gonna roll my eyes and avert my gaze from the fire.
For the rest of your question, that would be quite a bit of a history lesson.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I, would be lying if I said I wasn't interested in speaking to you further about, what exactly you can do. Perhaps we can set up some sort of coffee date.
I'd love that.
He was just gonna mutter under his breath. If someone doesn't pull a fucking cat out of a hat, I'm gonna fucking kill them all.
So, Bjorn, you return from some of the wooded area outside the strip mall, and before you even get too close back to the group, you see the notebook surrounded by a small balefire.
I'll just go ahead and drop my kindling and just kind of walk off to the side, probably pulling out a cigarette and lighting it and just being like, well, fuck it.
Theo, if he hears you drop the kindling, just look back and just, how are we gonna make marshmallows now?
I don't know. Apparently, being a pioneer is dead.
I think cooking over magic flame is kind of like using treated wood.
Yeah, it gets chemicals and asbestos all up in your food, and you'll end up with cancer at the age of 24.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's what Theo's
is that
worried
really a
about. Cancer
concern for you?
24.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Hope?
Really a concern for you?
You don't know what is a concern and not for me.
That's why I'm asking.
Nigel clears his throat and says, well, I don't mind being chauffeur for whoever wants to get out of this place, unless any nods at Rebecca saying you wish to stay here.
I'll text,
No, I'll go with you.
I'll text in our group chat, found Rebecca, she's safe. We'll update soon.
I'm gonna go ahead and just be like, Theo, take care of Rebecca, I'll meet up with you guys later. And just start walking off towards that direction. Pulling from a drag from my cigarette.
Do you seem angry with us?
Angry would not be the correct term. Something closer to frustrated.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure Theo would know that expression. The I need time.
The fuck these kids these days.
Yeah, I'll get in the back of the car.
I'm going this way.
I'm gonna go to the woods and build my own campfire.
With blackjack and hookers. Yeah, that's exactly the impression. Yeah.
Calls up Roxy. Come on, I'm starting a casino in the woods.
Actually, now that you mention it.
I really want it to just be a single game of Connect 4.
Alright,
We'll hop in the car and I guess towards actually I would kinda Rebecca, if you're not in a rush, the what does he call himself? I don't know. Theo's crazy, never mind, sorry. The good doctor here has some pretty nice hooch. We could meet right now and have a few words at his place.
Who's the good doctor?
did you meet Nigel?
Yeah, he totally meant Nigel. He like coached too. That's a little bit of Theo's 1800s coming out in him.
I haven't had a drink in like a day and a half, please.
Oh, sure. And I'll probably like text Abraham because I know you guys were talking and invite him out with us too. I'm telling you, we've got some Baron level hooch at Nigel's house.
I will ask for the address, but ultimately show up.
Cool.
Alright. So Rebecca, Theo, eventually Abraham head back to Nigel's. Bjorn needs to go take a breather, probably find some booze himself somewhere, somebody's blood supply. And we're gonna head back to Luther and Dinah, who are going to find Hector.
Yeah.
Getting sober, honey.
Yeah,
That's right, you did. You shook it out.
I did.
Shook
I
it off.
shimmied. I shimmy and shaked it.
Off. Shake it off. Okay.
Sorry,
Yep.
there's a new track. I'm like always scared it's gonna be too loud on stream. And there we go, picture of our little Hector. So Luther and Dinah, you follow the address that Hector texted you, and you also find yourselves in an abandoned strip mall. This one, unlike the other one, which still had some open stores, this one is dead. The weeds are starting to come up through cracks in the pavement of the parking lot. Several of the old stores don't even have the signs for what they used to be anymore. They're either stolen or fell off and taken out to trash. Definitely a very, very old strip mall, not in use for quite some time. But you do spot what looks like an old boutique, and matches the number in the address. You see Hector is actually sitting on the curb just outside of the building.
Should we get out or offer him a seat in? How do you want to do this?
I'm not sure. You stay here. I'm gonna approach him, okay?
All right. When we have this, was I on like this? I'll pull up on the street and you can walk like through the parking lot too.
I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'll wave to you.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Everything's bad.
I'm an auspex.
Okay.
Real quick, real fast. We're gonna read this guy's emotions and stuff, his feelings.
Okay. Perception, empathy at 7.
I. One. Rocking
Nice.
it today. I've rolled 2 things this game and I got a 1 both times. This is better than botch. Not so bad.
Okay. You see a vague sense of the color green, which tends to be related to like obsession or like desiring something, like having a focus on something that's like all you can think about. But it's also very staticky, which is very common in someone who's feeling a little anxious or stressed.
Okay.
So stressed and kind of almost one-track mind. As you start to cross the parking lot, he looks up, sees you, and you now very much even more so see in his physical body language a bit of a twitchy energy, but he doesn't get up to greet you. He just stays seated.
Hello, Hector.
Hi, Dinah. How's your night going?
All right. Are you okay?
Yeah. How about we go talk inside?
Sure.
Are you with anybody else, or,
Oh, yeah, I brought a friend of mine. He's out in the car. Should I tell him to wait?
Was
It's just a friend I was out with. I came straight here.
Is it one of the ones you were with before?
Kinda.
Oh.
He showed up late.
He starts, like, rubbing his neck a little uncomfortable. Whatever, I just needed to talk to you.
All right.
So he stands up quickly and moves to the glass paneled door, opens it, is obviously unlocked, or he unlocked it earlier, steps inside. Inside, there's still like a few old mannequins, and there's plenty of shelves and tables, though it does look like all of the inventory was cleaned out a long time ago. There aren't so much as cobwebs, but the place is definitely dirty, dusty. There's even some leaves on the ground that definitely been there a while, as dry as they are.
Okay.
So his nervous energy seems to increase, but almost more excitement than any kind of fear. He turns after walking a few steps into the store and starts approaching you quickly.
Okay.
Look, alright, so I got some information recently about the auction. But I was hoping, we could make an exchange of it.
What did you have in mind?
You immediately see his eyes kind of dart between your neck and your wrist.
All right, you tell me first, though, all right?
He starts rubbing his arm and feels like hesitant, but then says, "Alright, fine. I told you I'd tell you anything I get." So a lot of times the auctions usually, somewhere off the beaten path, an old warehouse or something like that. Supposedly they're doing it up a little bit more this time, and it's going to take place on a houseboat. Well, I mean, I guess it's going to be big for as much cargo as we have this time. Maybe not a houseboat, not exactly a yacht, but I know it's going to be out on the water.
Just a big old shindig out on the river.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Hector.
Yeah. I can get you the port location, too. But I mean, I don't think it would be a great idea if you'd actually go.
That's fair. I suppose it's invite only, huh?
Kinda, yeah. Definitely. Not that you would have invites, but you'd be recognized if you weren't supposed to be there.
All right. I'll still take the location.
Yeah, of course. I think I know where it is, but there's supposed to be a confirmation later. They try to keep it unofficial until a little bit closer till, just in case things change or the wrong people find out.
That makes sense. All right. Thank you, honey.
Yeah, sure. And he kind of moves another.
I'll hold my wrist out. God, this Skeeves. I hate this guy.
He grabs up your arm quickly and bites down right into the middle of your wrist, which, of course, the kiss takes over, but for just an instant it actually hurts how quickly he goes in. And he stands there greedily drinking from you.
All right. Okay. I'll let him take the point and then try to pull back.
So, like a dog with a bone, he resists at first, trying to hold on, but then with your will over him, not even needing to really say anything, he feels that he needs to let go and does, and backs up, wiping his mouth. Sorry.
It's all right. You have anything else you need me for? You gonna take care of yourself?
No, that's, I just figured I'd tell you, and he trails off, not adding why the other reason he wanted to see you.
Well, you did a good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. And he seems to pause. He sounds like he wants to say something, but not anything specific. He just looks uncomfortable and nervous.
What is it, honey?
Nothing. Really, it's fine. Yeah. And he starts to leave the store.
Okay. I'm not gonna push that because I don't want to push this. So
Outside the store, he just stands on the sidewalk with his hands in his pockets.
okay. I'm gonna head back to the car.
Alright, so you leave. He kind of just stands there for a while. If you look back, or just even by the time you get back to the car, you see he almost waits until you're gone before he starts walking off.
Okay. All right.
So you're back in the car with Luther.
When he was telling me this, was there any... No, I didn't get a very high enough success, did I? To be able to tell if there was any sort of odd duplicitousness? I only got one success, so like if I can't tell, that's fine too.
Really all you got was that green, that focus, that was him wanting to drink from you.
Okay. Okay, so she'll get back in the car and be like, oh boy, well then.
What happened?
He voluntarily has told me supposedly the next location for the auction, along with a warning to not show up because we would be recognized as not supposed to have been there.
Okay. But we know where the auction's going to be at.
It's gonna be on a boat, on a houseboat on the river.
Which house? I mean,
that one. He said he would get to me when he actually has the specifics, because they hold them tight until time to go. You know.
All right. I mean, that's great. That's what we've been looking for. We can tell the group. And
I'm not sure if I believe him or not. It could, although it seems odd he would warn us away. If it was a trap.
Maybe, but I mean, this seems pretty cloak and dagger for some hidden information. I'm sure. Either way, we have to roll with it, whether it is truthful or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got something. I suggest we can meet with some of the others. I'd rather talk to them first before we bring this information to the prince, just to see what they think.
I was just about to say the same thing. We can get the group together, have a conversation about this, and see how we want to do it, how we want to proceed.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's go. Thank you for having my back. I wasn't sure what was going to happen.
I mean, I don't know how much I was having, but I mean, of course, I'm always going to be here for you. Do you mind texting the boys and seeing where they're all at?
Sure, honey. So yeah, I'll send a group text. Meet at my office when you're free? ?
Alright, it'll be about the time that Theo, Rebecca, and Nigel get back to his apartment. Abraham is on his way there that you guys get this text from Dinah. Just want to know if anyone texts back or anything.
I mean, I hope somebody texts back.
I think the plan is to drink. Did you not get this message? Yes, I text an accent.
I ain't got a phone.
All right, who texts back to what? Which subject? It'll be found.
Oh, no.
What? No, one, you guys never told us about Rebecca being found. But Dinah
yes.
Yeah, I did.
Theo,
I texted.
Theo
Oh, did it?
Theo
Oh,
texted
okay.
the group.
Yeah, I texted in the
Okay.
group to everyone that we found Rebecca. She's safe. And then I'll update everyone soon.
Might be. I did not catch that part. But yeah, Dinah just sent a text saying that what's the plan for tonight so we can meet up with you guys.
And then I sent, I think the plan is to drink, ?
Solid, good plan. I'll just follow it up with a where.
But yes.
Well, Nigel's, like, you're the one who told me.
Oh no, that was just between me and you. And Nigel.
Yeah, that's
Not
why
like
I
the
was a
whole
little
room in
vague.
this house.
That is why I was
Yeah.
a little vague.
I'll look at Nigel and just kind of like, one of those things where you're like, this is totally okay to say no. Really, for real, it's fine. And let him know, like, apparently the whole crew's having a drinking night.
There's a pause. You can see Nigel thinking for a second, and then he says, why not? I haven't had much company over in some time. Sounds like fun.
But I'll, like, quickly follow up after. Well, I know. We could go somewhere else. I have plenty of houses around here. Well, not here, but there. Anyway, there are places we can go if you don't want us all in your house. I don't want to just, like, hi, nice to meet you. I've got a group of friends. We're all drinking at your place now.
He has a gentle, kind of wry smile on his face and thinks again, well, I would hope they aren't so rowdy as to make me worry about my furniture. Otherwise, I have plenty of drinks on stock, and I personally prefer to imbibe that way rather than the other option.
Say no more. I'll send out the invite. And also, if they do, like, ruin any furniture, don't worry. I just made this beautiful deer eyeball sofa. I'll give it to you.
He turns his head slightly in Rebecca's direction to figure out if it's a joke or not.
Rebecca shrugs.
Alright, so Theo sends out the text blast to go get drunk with a Tremere. Bjorn, you also get this? Are you gonna continue off on your own, or are you gonna join up?
Sorry, say that again. Was that towards me?
Yeah.
Can you say that again?
Oh, Theo said that Nigel was actually welcoming the whole crew if they want to come to his place for drinks. Wondering if you are still going to be wandering off on your own, or if you would join them.
I'll respond with just a K and show up in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Alright, so, Justice League. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Everybody is at Nigel's apartment. For those of you that were not there before, I'll reiterate that it is basically a duplex with a penthouse size to it. So there's a apartment below and apartment above. And in Nigel's apartment, it looks very much comfortable, semi-modern. It's got everything brand new in the kitchen. Everything's kind of spotless. Cozy little living room set up with a large TV and a hallway that leads to about 3 or 4 rooms. Looks basically very unassuming. You wouldn't think necessarily some sort of magic user lives here. The only thing that really might give it away is there are some odd trinkets that would look right at home among Theo's piles of junk. But of course they're nicely displayed on different bookshelves and around the open space.
Theo's not poor. He has multiple piles of junk. It's one.
I said among his piles of junk.
I thought you said in his pile of junk. Like, I have many piles, thank you.
So, and especially as Abraham arrives, Nigel, and then Luther and Dinah, Nigel greets you very cordially, shaking your hand, welcome you into his home, and barely giving you like a bit of a tour, just kind of pointing around to the space and saying, make yourself at home, and begins piling up a few bottles of wine, it looks like, on his counter. Similar to the one before, it looks like it was hand-blown glass, not, pre-manufactured. The contents look fairly viscous, basically a little thicker than port wine, and there's simple labels on the front, like a couple of them are just a black piece of paper with a silver signature on it.
Real quick, I would have mentioned if he asked if he had human actual alcohol, and if not, I would have asked him to stop at like a liquor store on the way there.
If you asked, he would have said that he had some reserves for that purpose
Okay,
too.
good.
Can I just say that I appreciate that he did welcome us into his home.
Oh, yeah. Does Abraham say that out loud, or just...
No.
That's just for me? Good.
Yeah.
But he...
Just a hey, thanks.
Yes, no, he's very, old school charm, kind of, making sure everyone knows that they can sit where they want and just help themselves. He starts piling out wine glasses as well, and then, remembering Theo's request, pulls out... Or he stoops down to a small cabinet and looks over at Rebecca and says, "Do you have any preference?"
Whatever you have, that's fine.
But she only drinks out of bowls, so...
And I only drink out of bowls.
Nigel's starting
Pulls out
to
a
pick...
$700 bottle of scotch and...
Nigel's starting to pick up on the humor of the group, just chuckles along with that. But at Rebecca's comment, he opens the cabinet and points a hand inside and shows that there are a good 25 different bottles. So he seems to be like, I don't know what you want.
She's gonna close her eyes and point at one.
The standard method of choosing a drink.
Yeah.
You happen to point between a bottle of scotch and a bottle of rum, which looks like it might have also been hand-blown glass made in Louisiana or Haiti. But he goes and grabs the rum and sets that out on the counter for you. I think this might be a little more fun.
I think you're right.
So all of us are here?
Yeah, we're downtime when you guys showed up.
we did?
At seeing Luther and Dinah, Rebecca will run over.
Yeah, I was gonna
Wrap
say
them up
Luther
in a
would.
hug each.
Yes. Good. Now, where have you been?
Oh, the hide and seek. You guys won.
We have numbers. You can call us.
I didn't have my phone. I don't know if you knew.
I
You
mean,
worried me sick, honey. I am so glad to see that you are okay. For Christ's sake, don't do that again.
Rebecca's gonna hug Dinah real tight.
Hey, she contacted us. She did some spy games.
Did you like that read in reverse? I thought I was clever.
That was, yes, it was quite clever actually.
What now?
Though I would love to know how you did the changing of the text. That was interesting.
I am missing something.
Me and Abraham played a game of like,
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
yeah.
okay.
All right,
what-
but I went to your work looking for you.
Shit, you went to my work?
Yes.
They're not.
I went to the club and we got with Luther and we got footage of the people who tried to grab you.
I really appreciate that. I'm sorry.
I will
Theo
loudly.
went to the prince and cashed in favors.
Theo
I will,
will loudly groan when you like, oh, thank you guys, and like roll his eyes aggressively at you, and just under his breath, yeah, that's not the thanks I got.
I gave you 2 hugs.
Abraham will quickly get up and walk out of the room and let his private eye know that he can stop searching for Rebecca.
All I'm
I'll
saying.
text the prince too. I'll do it like in front of her, like holding my phone out, almost like I can't see that well, so Rebecca can read me texting the prince. Thank you for the favor. I owe you one. We found Rebecca.
He's gonna hang obnoxiously on his shoulders and give him little pecks on his cheek while he does it.
Gross.
I'm leathery, not gross.
Oh,
It's called sun-dried, okay? You should try it.
Like a tomato.
It's like beef jerky, all right? It's
Beef jerky is just leather it's just zipper or leather without a zipper.
he's literally Old Spice.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's more like a tomato, just grew on a vine somewhere. Came into being a little green, didn't quite ripen, but dried anyway.
all I'm saying is next time, I guess you got a hold of Abraham. So just next time, do better. Don't worry us so much.
I'm sorry.
Next time this happens, I will immediately go to my place.
Abraham,
I tried to leave a note.
Abraham, you do get a text back from Robert, your private detective, that says, "Okay, but don't do my job too much. You pay too well."
I will do my best.
Oh, I guess.
Handbrake.
And then Theo, you get a text back from Marcel in a few minutes that just says, "Understood."
And I guess we might have figured out the location of the. And then I'll kind of look over. What's the dude's name?
Nigel.
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 God, I'm sorry. I don't think we're properly met. This is your house, though. I'm so sorry. Hi, I'm Diana.
Well, yeah, and Nigel, walks up and introduces himself, explains, if it wasn't made clear, and I have no qualms to tell you, I am one of the Tremere of the city. Theo and a compatriot of his showed up after the prince had asked me to help in this little investigation.
Well, thank you for helping out as much as you did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, yes, I could tell it was a matter of great concern between Theo and the others, and he kind of looks at Rebecca. And it is a pleasure to actually get to meet. I'm sorry, what would be the proper term?
I like Rebecca.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by that. I meant, your kind?
Human mage works. If you are the vampire mage equivalent.
He laughs at that and nods, looking a little embarrassed, realizing he was about to put his foot in his mouth, and turns back to the group. Anyway, it was my pleasure. About this point, Bjorn would show up after, a few minutes after everybody else settled in.
Well, in the meantime, I'm going to hand Theo a slip of paper that probably has 5 digits written on it and say, "Here's my bill." Mostly out of snark, but it's like the bill that says $17,000.
He'll take it and like study it. Like he'll just look at you and nod a few times and act like it's really important and put it into a pocket, and you'll see it slip out of a hole in the pocket and just fall on the floor. Don't worry, I'll get it to you, boss.
I mean, I probably let myself into the room, just assuming that it's not locked with all of them standing in the... They're all at... Yeah.
Nigel knew you were going to be coming along, so he left the door like half open. If you enter, he'll just wave you in and then like motion for you to close the door.
I'll follow suit and just kind of make my way over to one of the couches or something and make myself comfortable.
Was there mention of drinks? Because
Oh, he piled the blood alcohol out on the counter with a bunch of glasses and said, "Help yourself."
Luther will
I'll
help
pour
himself.
one for me. Yeah, I'll pour one for me and Abraham, and I'll hand it to Abraham.
Luther would pour for Dinah.
Rebecca will go get Bjorn a people drink.
And Bjorn will accept the people drink and drink it down in a single gulp and hand out his glass for a refill.
She will have tried to like hurriedly clink hers with his, and then like
It'd be one of those
is in the middle of drinking it, realizing that
and
this
clink with
needs
the
to
empty
happen
glass.
faster. Yeah.
Nigel
By the way,
raises an
no, it's
eyebrow.
just water that I drink.
Nigel raises an eyebrow, seeing Bjorn drink the regular alcohol, but doesn't say anything.
I'll just make a passing remark to Abraham. It's hard to find stuff this good outside the Baron's boat. I was pretty excited.
I will try it. This is excellent.
I promised him a trade. He said he was interested. I said Baron, and I'm pretty sure his ears climbed 2 inches up his head. Maybe that's a Tremere thing.
Nigel
that's
just
not
coughs
a medi-
slightly embarrassed.
That's not a Samedi thing.
Now, a little bit.
Speaking of the Baron, have we heard anything about him since?
No, and it was actually quite a surprise for any of you to meet him. He's pretty quiet.
Yeah, I only talk to him like every rare instance. But did you ask that in the group?
In group. Yes,
accent.
sorry. I'm not sure if I said that in accent, but it was in game.
I was also just giving you that as knowledge of Luther, that like you kind of surprised to see him in the first place.
No, I'll look at Luther and I'll go, wow, he's kind of like an outdoor cat. He really only comes around when he wants food or something else. Otherwise, you won't see him.
All right.
I'll let you know if I hear from him. Do you need something?
Well, you remember that auction I was thinking about having?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think it might be on a boat this time.
I'll get in touch and get back to you.
But I mean that could be for another night for us to discuss. I guess tonight is more of a celebration that our dear Rebecca is back in our careful hands, and he'll kind of raise a glass for everyone to be jolly. That
When
Rebecca.
you say careful hands, I'll like side-eye Theo, but still raise my hand.
let's just define it as hands. Just hands.
On a good day.
General adjectiveless term.
On a good day.
Where is everyone talking about my hands?
Yeah.
As he holds the glass, his hand, the webbing between his fingers climbs all the way up, so he's just got like a seal. No more hands.
Left-handed.
A flipper.
Rebecca's gonna look away for that. That one's a little too much.
Abraham would be used to it.
I groan. I sigh loudly.
Nigel very much looks like he is amused, but wondering what sort of group of people he led into his house.
Rebecca will turn to him.
When I see his
So-
amusement, real quick, when I see his amusement, I'll nod my head and I'll just go, so about that deer eyeball couch.
He turns and starts making himself a drink.
Nobody wants it. Theo, nobody.
So how long have you been a vampire? And does that come naturally, or do you learn the mage part of vampire mage?
Taking a sip of his drink, Nigel pauses at the first question. Go ahead and give me perception empathy.
Hey, I have a specialty in sensing emotions. Does that do anything?
Yeah, no, can you give me more detail or read it, whatever it is?
It's just a specialty from the book. I don't.
Okay, then we'll say difficulty 5.
Okay. Four successes. Yay.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how much you understand of kindred, but we are each... When one of us is embraced, we gain certain qualities from what you might refer to as a bloodline, and mine has a penchant for... Oh, can people hear me?
Yeah, I checked. You could hear it.
Okay, I wasn't sure. My bloodline essentially has a natural ability for lack of a better term, magic. And each of us do tend to have a innate ability that goes one way or another. There are certain things some of us are better at, and others can. And he tries to think of how to most politely explain all of it. There are also, of course, prodigies. Some people pick it up quickly, others it's a little bit more of a struggle. And, of course, there is learning. It's not, day one, you can, just do whatever you wish. There is sort of a development over years.
Is your affinity along the lines of pyrokinesis?
It is one of the few things I am, better suited for than perhaps even others of my clan. Yes.
I'm gonna lean over to Abraham and not too secretly. Say, wow, man, she's really going all in with the personal questions. She's gonna ask what race he is next, I promise.
She turns around.
Yeah, I'm gonna glare.
And then turns back to Nigel. So what race are you?
His eyebrows go straight up in confusion.
Okay.
Don't answer that. I'm sorry.
At that, yeah, I'm probably gonna snort some wine, like solidly.
Nigel then
My
again
apologies.
kind of realizes it's this group's humor, which is a little.
It was just cracking up though.
Well, unless anybody had anything else they really wanted to cover with Nigel, the night continues on where you all have a few more drinks, just unwind after the last few stressful days of looking for Rebecca, and in the case of the Toreadors, helping Morgaine out. You just have a nice quiet night. Nigel and Rebecca go back and forth with some awkward questions that the other may be hesitant to answer, but they maybe tell each other a couple more things in vague terms. And Nigel, continues to talk about, getting to know one another a little bit more, but perhaps at another time. As it sneaks a little closer and closer to very late night, early morning, you eventually all go your separate ways back to your havens. Rebecca, if I understand correctly, you are, for that evening, going to go stay with Theo?
Sure. Like, she's going to, when it comes time for people to leave, kind of ask someone if she can come along.
Yeah, he'll invite you back.
Yeah, so will Abraham.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming everyone would have been like, "Hey, if you need a place, we're all open."
Yeah, then she'll
Theo will just whisper in your ear, "Dear eyeball couch."
So Abraham, you had the offer open.
Yes, of course. Besides, there was a discussion that I promised you.
The story.
Yeah, a story.
Oh my
You
God.
asked for a story.
That was like 3 years ago. Okay.
It's also kind of a buzzkill story, I remember. Like
No,
that
she
was the-
traded it for literally anything to get to know him better.
was not in the context of the question asked, though.
I think after the fact, a little bit out of character, it was clarified. It can be anything.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, he brought up a terrible option, and then they discussed it could be anything really.
Okay.
With that, we will wrap episode 17. I think maybe we'll start with that story next time though, because I'm certainly excited to hear it. But yeah, we will wrap up this Tuesday's Vampire the Masquerade New Orleans night. Thank you, as always, to everybody who comes out and watches us live. Thank you to everybody who checks out our games on YouTube. We really appreciate you guys coming out, enjoying the games. Your comments and everything are awesome. As always, check below for links to our Twitter and our Discord. If you want to join us on Discord, we have a lovely little group going that discusses World of Darkness and, just has fun hanging out. This Friday, I believe we should be good for a new episode of D&D. And going forward from tonight, I believe our schedule should continue at least on Tuesdays and Fridays. Unfortunately, Price of Blood is on indefinite hiatus, our previous Monday game, so maybe we'll fill that slot with something new coming up. But again, thank you for hanging on during the little hiatus we had, and we will see you all soon. So, bye!
Bye, bye, boo.
Bye.